crazy number of grocery stores in this list. Most of them I've never been to. Most of them are very regional, and I have not even been to those regions or even heard of a lot of these things. Didn't mean to put that where I did. Hold on. Why did that go there instead of lower? There we go. We'll just put, we'll call this never been. Don't know why I put so many extra letters in there. And then, yeah, I've never been to a bunch of these, but I've been to enough of them that this should be somewhat interesting. Okay. So I've never heard of 7 Mile, never heard of 99 Ranch, never heard of Acme, but I have been to Albertsons. Albertsons is like the generic everywhere grocery store in California. I'm pretty sure they're owned by Kroger. So you're going to hear me say the phrase, this is just a Kroger, a number of times in this video, because Kroger has assimilated a significant number of other grocery stores in the U.S. and pretty much all of like the generic conception of what a grocery store is basically a Kroger by any other name. So Albertsons, to me, the epitome of the B tier. Like, it's fine, you'll get what you need there. The prices are what they are, you know, this is the standard U.S. grocery store experience, basically. Aldi, on the other hand, is where you go and they have a more limited selection but for lower prices. And for the most part, Aldi selection is pretty good. There's not a lot of stuff you can get there that's going to be shit. There's not a lot of stuff you can get there that's going to be amazing, but the prices on meat for the quality are excellent. So it's definitely one of the stronger ones. I don't think I've ever been to Baker's. Basha's is, I believe, another Kroger. So put that into the generic, just, yep, it's a grocery store that exists in certain places category. I don't know Boyer's. Welcome to Berkeley Bowl. I'm guessing this is at Berkeley University. Big Y. Very lesbian energy to this logo. Bravo, like the isn't this a brand of like paper towels? Do they have their own grocery store or something? Bristol Farms. I feel like I've been to a Bristol Farms. I feel like this is a slightly upscale grocery store. You know what? I might even put the generics down to C tier so that I can put slightly upscale grocery stores in B tier where like this is like the same experience as going to Albertsons. They just have slightly better stuff at slightly higher prices. And like, I feel like it's a little pretentious to go to those types of places, but sometimes they really just do have like just much better food. And I feel like this is probably one of those examples. I don't remember Brookshire Brothers or Boylan's Fresh Food. Don't know that. Don't know Central Market. Don't know Cermak. I love all the logos. They're so unique. They're so different from one another. Chedraui? Cuesta Menos. Don't know what that is. City Market. I feel like I've been to a place called a City Market, but it wasn't this. Like, it wasn't this logo. Now, Costco. Costco is interesting because it's similar to Aldi in the way that it's a limited selection. Pretty much everything they have is good. Not a lot of it is like the best you could possibly get, but they only sell in bulk. And at the prices that it's at, it's like the best price you're possibly going to get on that thing. It's just that you have to buy it in bulk. So you end up with a ton of shit. And it's close to S tier. I would say if it was possible to get like the best possible stuff there, it would be S tier. So far, since getting a Costco membership again, we've been spending a preposterous amount of money on food, but at the same time, we've had a preposterous amount of food, and it lasts us a really long time. So I think it's probably a proper trade-off, but it's hard to say yet. Never heard of Cub. Never heard of Dag NYC. Never heard of Dave's. Never heard of Deerbergs. Dillon's. Erie Juan? This sounds like a goddamn fantasy name. This doesn't sound like the name of a grocery store at all. Fairway. And then Fairway. Two different spellings, two different versions of the phrase Fairway. But don't think I've been to either one. I don't think I've been to a festival or a fiesta or a Food City, but I do know Food Lion. This is the Virginia Beach, like Virginia area. Maybe it's all of Virginia. I'm not sure if it's the whole state. I'm going to put them in B tier. And the reason that they are above like a generic Kroger is that even though Food Lion has a little bit less selection than Kroger, the prices are way lower. They're like the cheapest grocery store. Probably some of the lower quality stuff you're going to get, you know. Generally, a Food Lion is usually... like it's usually the only thing that's really providing like a full grocery experience to kind of a like bad part of town, like a bad neighborhood, and in that way is kind of a godsend. Like Food Lion is preventing food deserts all across Virginia, particularly in the Hampton Roads area. So this is like a very much a go-to for me. Unpretentious grocery store, extremely unpretentious grocery store. Don't know Food Town. I feel like I might have been to a Food 4 Less. Maybe this is a thing in... I'm trying to think of where it's from. I don't know where it's from, though. Don't know Foodorama. Don't know Foodland. Don't know Foods Company. Don't know Food Town. Fred Meyer is Kroger. Fred Meyer is Kroger by another name. Same thing as a Bashas' or an Albertsons, pretty much. Actually, you know what? I think Bashas' is a little more unique. Like, they have some of their own stuff unique from... I don't know. Actually, I might be wrong about that. Don't know Fresh Thyme. Don't know Fry's. Don't know Gelson's. I think I've heard of a Giant Eagle, but I've never been in one. Don't know Giant. Don't know Gristed's. Grocery Outlet Bargain Market is ass. This is where we finally enter the D tier of, like, I don't know why you would go there. Like, it looks like a Dollar Tree or a Dollar General, but it's, like, not even as cheap as those. Like, it's like normal price for shit selection. And like a place that nobody's working at. I don't know. Grocery Outlet Bargain Market is like the opposite of a Food Lion, a thing that makes you go, oh great, they really don't have food here. You're like, people are really living on nothing out here. If this is what you're depending on for your groceries, you're fucked. Grocery Outlet Bargain Market, not good at all. Don't know what GW Super. This looks, I guess it's Chinese. H Mart. I think this is an international grocery chain because I feel like I've been to an H Mart with this logo and it was international grocery. So if it is an international grocery chain, that's cool and it goes in B tier at least. I'm not entirely sure about that. You know, if I'm wrong, slap me in the head. Hagen. Never heard of it. Hannaford. Never heard of it. Harmon's. Never heard of it. Harps. This logo looks familiar, but I don't think I've heard of it. Now, Harris Teeter, unfortunately, has really gone downhill because it is now a Kroger. And it used to be that Harris Teeter had more of its own identity, and it was 24 hours. That was the most important thing about Harris Teeter. It's a 24-hour grocery store. Well, guess what? COVID killed the idea of the 24-hour grocery store. Not even Walmart is usually 24 hours anymore. Very few things are 24 hours post-COVID. Harris Teeter is... Actually, I might even put it lower because it's so overpriced. Like... well, it doesn't not below a C, but like... They have better selection, but higher prices than like a standard Kroger experience. And typically, like they'll have decent sales. Like if you only buy stuff that's on sale at Harris Teeter, you can have like a decent shopping experience. It's just that you have to leave what you're getting up to the will of the sale. You know, if you buy anything that's not on sale, you're going to pay the most you could possibly pay for it. So for that reason, I think maybe it belongs at the bottom of C. It's not D tier. I've done a lot of shopping at Harris Teeter, but I miss when it was 24 hours. H-E-B is pretty cool. This is a massive Texas chain of grocery stores. I actually think I would put that in A tier. H-E-B, it's not that there's anything unique about like the price, but the selection is crazy. The stores are just gigantic, like bigger than a fucking Costco, but it sells normal sized stuff, you know. Very much the everything is bigger in Texas rule applied heavily. So it's one of the better ones. I don't think I've ever heard of Hainen's or Hugo's. Now Hy-Vee is going in S tier. And this is, I don't know if it exists outside of like Kansas City, but there's a bunch of these in Kansas City. And I just remember that like their local product was all really good, their prices were really good, and they had like a full ass beer store. Like the beer section is like a whole store. And they had beers from like everywhere because it's Kansas City's like right in the middle of the country. So they had a shitload of different beer. The beer selection alone put Hy-Vee really high up for me, and I remember their food being pretty good too. So yeah, that was a big part of what made me think, oh, Kansas City is a place I could end up living, just because I would want to shop at Hy-Vee so much. I don't know what this I stands for. Don't know Island Pacific. Don't know JC. Don't know Jerry's Foods. Don't know Jewel Osco or Carnes or Key Food or King Cullen or King Supers. Supers with 2 O's, not even with a U. KJ's Market, don't know Kowalski. Okay, Kroger. So I've been saying that everything is a Kroger. Well, here's actual Kroger. Kroger is just like the main branch of the brand. They own all the other ones, you know. It's the one that I first became familiar with. They eventually bought most of the other brands I knew, such as Harris Teeter. I believe they own I think pretty sure this whole C tier is just Kroger's so far. They're all very similar experiences. Kuhn's Quality Food, that's a sus name. Lowe's Foods, but not Lowe's. This looks like it actually is Lowe's, but I know it's not Lowe's. I know it's a different Lowe's. I actually think I've seen one of these in person, but I don't think I went into it. Lucky, I don't recognize. L&B, Lunds and Burleys. Don't know what that is. Magruder's, I don't know it. Mariano's, I don't know it. Market Basket. Ooh, I think I've been to one of these. I think this is just a very generic grocery store. So we'll just put that in C tier. For all I know, it's a fucking Kroger. It looks like it might as well be one from the logo. Market of Choice, I don't know. Maruka, I don't know. Mayor, these are really big up north. And they're pretty cool. They're better than Kroger for sure. I would probably put it on par. Probably put it at the top of B tier. Like, it's not quite HEB scale. It's closer to a Walmart. Like, which HEB is like a super fucking Walmart. And I don't mean a Walmart supercenter. I mean like a super Walmart supercenter. Mayor is like a Walmart supercenter, but like cleaner and with a little better selection. And it only exists in the north. But if you live up there, you probably go there instead of Walmart. Don't know Met Food Markets. Don't know Mi Pueblo. Don't know Mitsuwa. Sounds Japanese. Which I don't know how many countries this includes either. This could be like literally every single in the entire world. You know, have I gotten to... Fuck, I'm trying to think of the name of the Filipino one that I know would be SM. Yeah, is SM in here? I don't think so. Okay, whatever. I don't know Morton Williams. I don't know New Seasons. I don't know Nijia. Nugget, Patel Brothers, Pavilions. Payless sounds familiar. Okay, Piggly Wiggly. I had never heard of this until recently, but there's one relatively nearby to me, and the people who work there are really nice. Piggly Wiggly is similar to Food Lion in that it is like cheap food. They don't have a ton of selection, but they also, like, both of them make food in-house, and Piggly Wiggly looks better. I haven't actually tried it, but it definitely looks better. Their meat is definitely better than Food Lion. And again, the people who work at the one near me are super nice. So I would consider Piggly Wiggly like an improvement on Food Lion overall. Not quite A tier. Not quite as exciting as going to a Meijer, but like in terms of having a hometown, you know, local market, it's pretty cool. Never heard of Price Chopper. I'm sure I've been to Publix. I'm pretty sure this is like a fairly generic grocery store. So I'll just put it in C tier. Don't know Pueblo. I might have been to Equality Food Centers. I'm not sure. QD. Never heard of it. Rallies with an L. I think I've maybe... Can't remember for sure. If it was, it was not memorable enough for me to rank it. A Ralph's is a Kroger, but in fucking California, just like Albertsons. They really did buy everything. Reezers, don't know it. Redners, ooh, I don't think I've been into one. Remke Markets, don't know it. Ridley's, I don't know it. Roche Bros, this is another one that's actually like, this is similar to what I think Bristol Farms is, where it's like a fancier, like they have pretty nice things, but it's a little more expensive. So it's like, okay, you know, you get what you get paid for. I couldn't necessarily afford it most of the time, but if I was, you know, if I had the fliff to throw around, this would be my go-to. I think this was the main grocery store that we went to when I lived in Boston, and like they had like a liquor store in the front of the store, which is also really cool. So shout out Roche Bros. They were all right. Rose Sears Supermarket, never heard of it. Never heard of Roundy's or Rouse's or Ruler, but it looks like a V. Ruler. Safeway is, I think, a gas station? Like, I feel like there's more than one thing called Safeway, but I feel like Safeway is a gas station. I'm going to put this in C tier for now. I'm not sure if it's the thing I think it is. Sam's Club I haven't been to in a really long time. It's similar to Costco, but owned by Walmart. So it's hard for me to say it's like as good. I'm just going to say it's probably B tier. It's more exciting than going to Kroger, that's for sure. Don't think I know Save Mart. Don't know Schnucks. That's a funny name. Scolari's Food and Drug Company. Never heard of it. Zebra Foods. Don't know it. Seafood City Supermarket. Never heard of it. Sedano's. Nope. Cellar Bros. Nope. Sendix. Nope. Sentry. Shaw's Star. Nope. Shoppers. Nope. ShopRite. Nope. Smart and Final. That sounds familiar, but I don't think I've been there. Smith's also looks familiar, but I don't think I've been there. Spartan Nash. I did not know this was a grocery store. It looks like a medicine store or something. Sprouts is another kind of upscale, like somewhat more expensive grocery store, but I've never been impressed with anything I've found there. Like I've definitely gone there, and to me it was like I paid more, but I didn't actually get anything necessarily better. So I would say probably bottom of C tier for Sprouts. Stater Bros, on the other hand, is very similar to Roche Bros. You know, if you got bros in the title, you're in for some upscale grocery experience. Pretty solid stuff. I don't know what this is. There's like a cow. That's cute. Stop and Shop is like your generic Massachusetts grocery store that I remember being like even worse than a Kroger in most ways, or at least like at best on par with Kroger. So I'd probably put it just generically C tier. Don't remember having great experiences there. Strack and Van Til. Don't know what that is. Straub's. Don't think I've been there. Super One Foods. I don't think so. Super Fresh. I don't think so. Now Target, as a grocery store, really bad. Target, almost maybe D tier. Yeah, I think as a grocery store, Target goes in D tier. Not only do they have like a very limited selection, but everything is overpriced. With the exception of like the beer for whatever, but they have like the tiniest beer selection. They have like 2 cabinets for seltzers and half a cabinet for beer. And like 2 aisles of wine. It's so Target is for women, like pretty explicitly. It is a very women oriented store, but it's kind of amazing how like particular their food selection is. Supermercados Tlaloapan, never heard of that one. The Food Emporium, I don't think I've been there. The Fresh Grocer, nope. The Fresh Market. This is everything I said about Sprouts. The exact same stuff applies to the Fresh Market. Just like it's a little pricier, but not like so much higher quality that it's like, oh, we should definitely go to the Fresh Market. Like it's not even as good as a Whole Foods, which we haven't gotten to yet. Don't know Supermarket Times. Tops, I remember being basically a Kroger. Don't think it's like distinct enough from any of that to really go differently. Trader Joe's is unique. I don't like or hate Trader Joe's. I think I'm going to put it in B tier because it's definitely more interesting than Kroger. And it's very... Everything they have is something they're not going to have at another grocery store. It's super hit or miss. A lot of their stuff is just like bland or not that good or not interesting or overpriced. You have to really be into the Trader Joe's experience. I think if you don't come up through the Trader Joe's like world, it's hard to get into. It's hard to like crack in and be like, I'm going to become a Trader Joe's, you know? The way it is with like, it's pretty easy with like Costco to just jump right in. Shop Go First or Shop First Go? I can't tell what that is. Uwajimaya, never heard of it. Velarta Supermarket, never heard of it. Vons, I'm pretty sure is yet another Ralph's or like just like generic grocery store. Nothing special about it. Walmart. I am hesitant to put Walmart in C tier, but I think honestly, if I have to choose between Walmart and Kroger, I know I will get better quality food at Kroger, but I will find more unique options for cheap at Walmart. Like there's weird stuff that you'll find randomly at Walmart that they decided to throw up there, you know, and all of it's like mad cheap. But that's not true anymore, actually. Walmart raised their prices, and now they kind of are ass. So I'm going to put them in D tier because ever since they raised their prices, it's not worth it anymore. Like, it was supposed to be the cheap grocery. Now it's not even that, and I can't go in there without accidentally spending money on other shit. Wegmans is the big grocery chain of upstate New York, radiating out of Rochester. Up there, it really is like a culture. They have like a whole interior dining room, which is okay. Wegmans, frankly, quite overrated. I like it more than Trader Joe's or Sam's Club. I don't think I'm going to rate it above like... I think H Mart is an international grocery. If not, I'm just using it as like my generic representation of an international grocery. And I'd rather go to one of those than to Wegmans. Wegmans is good. If you live in Rochester, it is obviously the one you're going to go to. Also, I think it used to be 24 hours. I don't know if it still is. I don't think anything still is. Oh, I feel like I've been to a Weis, but I'm not sure. Western Beef. I would like to go to a place called Western Beef. Whole Foods is very overrated. Another one where, like, you are paying for higher quality, but is it so much higher? I don't think it's as good as Stater Bros or Rocher Bros. I do think it's probably better than Trader Joe's. So I'm still going to put it in B tier. And I'm going to tie it up with Wegmans. Whole Foods does have a great beer selection. That's the best thing about them, is that I have been able to find Red Horse beer there pretty consistently, which is from the Philippines and is one of my favorites, and I can't find it in most places. Wegmans also has a pretty good beer selection. The Wegmans in Virginia Beach is so fucking slammed at all times that it's really not worth going to. And it's mostly about the ready-made food there that's like all over the place. But it's just so overpriced that it's not worth going to. All right, Winco Foods, most important, my favorite grocery store, S tier. That's right. You were wondering, why does B even care? Why is she bothering making a whole grocery tier list? Look, Winco is the best. Winco only exists in Washington, Idaho, Nevada, California, and Oregon, so the West Coast. They have the best sushi because they're on the West Coast. They have the best. So both Winco and Hy-Vee have like a segment of where you can create bulk food bags of like different types of chocolates or rice or like whatever, anything that you normally would buy in a huge bulk amount. They have like, you know, select an amount, and all of it's really good. Like just everything that Winco sells is really good, and it's cheap. In terms of like getting the best quality at the lowest price, Winco is simply unbeatable to me. I think they are the best grocery store. I wish we had them here. We don't. Can't go to one. Never been to any of this other shit. All of this was truly just a ruse to get to talk about how great Winco and Hy-Vee are, and how much I wish I lived in a place that had Winco and Hy-Vee, because either of these grocery stores gets me like legitimately excited. Like makes me feel like I'm going to be eating just overall better food for the future. Now, granted, right now I'm having a great experience with Costco. It's possible I'll even raise Costco to S tier if I learn how to Costco properly. You know, if we get our Costco game down pat. But it's not the same as being able to walk into a Winco or a Hy-Vee and grab like a big chunk of chocolate and just eat it while you're walking around the store without paying for it. Anyway, yeah, so I haven't been to most of these, but yeah, grocery outlet bargain market is definitely the worst. I'm surprised that Dollar Tree and Dollar General aren't in here. Like the two most common grocery stores. I don't know if they just weren't, like if they didn't think dollar store counts. But if you're going to include fucking grocery outlet bargain market, I think it deserves to also have Dollar Tree. Now, granted, Dollar Tree would also go in D tier, and Dollar General would also go in D tier, but they belong on the chart, I think. Most of this is just Harris Teeter, Kroger, Ralph's, all the same brand. Most of this is the same brand with like a couple exceptions of like overpriced fancy places, but yeah, these are all decent. If you see any of these, you'll probably get good stuff there, or at the very least cheap stuff there. And that's my grocery store tier list. I can't believe I did it. It's all 12 tier lists are done now. So you know, welcome to September. I'm probably hyping you up about My Little Pony right now, and the next one will probably be My Little Pony related if I'm smart. After the one where I react to your reactions to the previous 12. So look forward to that next week. And thanks for being a member once again.